Hey, what's going on, guys? Dottz here, and today I'm bringing you a quick start guide to Black Desert Online, going over the most important things you need to know for your first day in game. Because this guide is going to be really beginner focused, I'm going to be trying to mainly give you a top-down look at the most important things you need to know as a new player. But if you want to delve deeper into any of these topics or simply explore more information about the game, I have a ton of guides on BDO in the Black Desert Online playlist on my YouTube channel, which you can find on my channel page. So let's start off with the most basic question. What is BDO? BDO is an open world sandbox MMORPG that is much different than other MMOs, especially if you've only really played Western MMOs. BDO does not have any traditional dungeons or raids and is instead focused around character and account progression, exploration, treasure discovery, and PvP. There are world bosses and open world dungeons in this game. However, BDO is not going to be necessarily for players who are looking for the standard traditional theme park MMO PvE. Much of the PvE in this game will be focused around something like mob grinding. However, upper level grind spots do have actual mechanics that you need to practice or you will die. So it's not like the entire game is just like, oh, mindless mob grinding. The game also has one of the best profession systems of any MMO I've ever played, known as life skills in BDO, and is honestly an entire game in and of itself. So now that you've decided you want to play BDO, let's jump into character selection. So starting off, we're obviously going to be creating a character, and when you start the game, you'll have no characters listed here, and we will want to hit the plus sign to create a new character. When you do, you'll be brought to the class selection screen where you'll have a lot of different class options. On top of all the classes available, each class has two, we're going to call them specializations that you can use, known as Awakening and Main, which could also be referred to as Succession, with each spec taking advantage of a different weapon. What I recommend doing is clicking through the classes and watching the video down at the bottom right, as well as reading the description to see which one of these classes appeals to you the most, and then maybe also watching some videos on YouTube which showcase gameplay of the classes. If you want to know which classes are best for new players and my personal recommendations, I have a guide where I go over just that, which I will link in the description below. You want to make sure that you select the class you really enjoy, as BDO is a very long-term game since, like I said earlier, it is a very progression-focused game. Don't just choose a class because it's OP right now, because it won't be OP forever. Choose a class you think you'll be able to stick with for the longest. Now, once you select the class, you will be brought to the character customization screen. Now, BDO has one of the most in-depth character designers of any MMO, so feel free to explore yourself here. However, if you just want to use a preset made by another player, you can click the beauty album below and explore some player-made customizations and even apply them to your own character. Then, assign a name at the bottom right, and then assuming there's an active season, you will have two options: create a normal character or create a seasoned character. If you are a new player and there is an active season, I highly recommend creating a seasoned character. I plan on making an in-depth guide to seasons in the future, but a summary is that a seasoned character essentially gives you a fast pass way to start a character in Black Desert Online, giving you extra rewards for leveling a character on seasoned servers, as well as increased leveling speeds, making it the perfect way for a new player to get started. The rewards are so good that you will very often see even veteran players making new characters every single season just for those season rewards. Speaking of servers, let's discuss server architecture. BDO does not have server architecture like WoW and is instead more like RuneScape, with the servers being channels and you have the ability to switch between them at will. Season servers will be denoted by a yellow BDO icon next to the name, as well as being called Season 1, Season 2, etc. PvP is disabled on these servers and can only be accessed by seasoned characters. Olvia servers are new player-focused servers that can also give you increased experience, and PvP is also disabled on them, but you have to have a new account in order to access these servers. Otherwise, you will be wanting to select from the other servers in the list, and the server that you select really doesn't matter. You might be wondering what the servers are that have the green circle next to them. These servers are known as Elvia servers, and certain monsters in the world have increased difficulty and rewards for veteran players. However, with a recent update, you have to specifically choose to enter those areas. So as a newbie, this really won't apply to you, and it's not like you have to worry about suddenly, running into big, scary monsters. So as a newbie, you're going to want it to stick to season servers if you have a seasoned character, Olvia servers while your account is new, and then these regular servers or Elvia servers otherwise. Just obviously you're not going to be entering the Elvia areas. Just keep in mind that once you hit level 50, regular servers will have PvP enabled, so you can potentially be engaged in non-consensual PvP. However, since you don't really get or lose anything for PvP in the open world, you typically won't be attacked unless you're doing something to specifically disturb another player, so I really wouldn't worry about it too much. Next, we're going to go over the interface. The first thing I recommend doing is getting to level 7 and then hitting escape and go to edit UI. This will bring up some options where you can actually edit your user interface. The main thing you're going to want to do is select custom HP bar, as I think it makes your UI look significantly better than the default. Now, to go over parts of your UI, at the top right, you have your minimap with the main quest underneath, as well as the rest of your tracked quests underneath that. At the top left, you'll see your level and percentage of that level and some information about global buffs about your character. This will show any increased drop rates you have, if you have an active value pack sub, as well as other things. You can also see next to your experience that you have skill experience, your current energy, which is a regenerative resource that you use to complete certain actions in game, as well as your contribution points, which you use to rent certain items from NPCs and invest in map nodes. I have guides on contribution points and energy, as well as the node system on my YouTube channel, and we'll also link those below. For the purposes of this quick start video, you'll gain skill and character experience as you fight monsters and complete quests, energy from talking to unknown NPCs, which will be denoted by a question mark on your minimap, as well as discovering new places, and contribution points are gained through your questing process. The bottom showcases any active character buffs. You can see your health and resource bar, as well as any, some quick slots, which you can use to bind certain abilities too. Once you hit level 50, you'll see an icon to the left of your HP bar, which is the PvP toggle on or off button, which will allow you to attack somebody if you do toggle it on. However, you do not need to toggle it on to defend yourself. Now, the button to the right of my HP bar is known as my Bsr Gauge or Black Spirit Rage Gauge. This is a special resource, think of it kind of like Ultimate if you ever played ESO, that allows you to unleash more powerful versions of certain skills. The bottom right has some quick access icons to allow you to access certain important parts of the UI. The main ones you have to worry about are the mail icon, which is where all mail is sent to, your challenges menu, which you can use to get some free daily rewards, as well as rewards for completing certain challenges, and your Black Spirit safe, which can save certain rewards that get sent to you. Obviously, the bottom left side has your chat, which you can edit by clicking the gear icon. Now, if you guys want an in-depth way to set up your UI and graphics and want your game to look like mine, I have a UI and settings guide, which, again, I will also link in the description below. But for the purposes of this video, one setting that I want to discuss turning off, which will probably annoy basically everybody immediately, is how to disable notifications from what other adventurers are doing. You're going to want to hit escape, settings, general settings, alerts, and turn off essentially everything except for the personal alerts. The other quick menu icon I want to discuss is the Black Spirit icon, arguably your most important as a new player. The Black Spirit serves as your guide for your main quest in Bdo, and you can click the main quest tab to see the main quests, and that's pretty much where you're going to be getting started and mainly wanting to do these at the beginning. If you're ever confused on what to do and where to go, when in doubt, talk to the Black Spirit and see if he has any main quests for you. The next menu I want to discuss is the skill menu. To open this, click K, and you'll see this window pop up. These are where you spend your skill points to unlock certain moves as well as level others up. As you level up skills, they'll get better in some way or form. Maybe they'll deal more damage, give better buffs, etc. When you click on the skill, you'll see a preview of the skill and what it does. Your main skill pane is the skills that you start off with, as well as those that get enhanced later by becoming succession skills. These can be denoted as prime skills in the tree, and you will take these if you want to enhance your base skills when you go succession. However, if you want to try another weapon, you'll be using your awakening tree, which you unlock later in the game along your main questline. The skill tree can be very confusing at first, so what I recommend for newer players is to find the Discord for your class. These Discords not only have a lot of helpful information, they'll typically have skill point layouts for you to follow, showing you the most important skills to focus on and level up. Certain skills can be used on the hotbar, while others can't and have to be used through combo keys. In general, the rule of thumb is to only hotbar skills that don't have combo keys, while using combo keys for the skills that do have it available. Now, this will change as you get more experience with the game, but as a new player, this is just a really good rule of thumb to follow at first. You'll know if you can hotbar a skill by if you see a yellow border around it, and if you hover over a skill, you'll see what its combo key is. If nothing is listed and it only says quick slot available, that means it needs to be hotbarred to actually be used. To get started with some super basic combos, you can also bring up your interface, escape and bring your interface back up to edit it, and turn on the skill guide, which can help you early on with some very basic class combos. explore more things in depth, again, refer to your class Discord. It's also totally normal at first to feel like you're just kind of button smashing and just doing random attacks, which again, very okay and totally normal when you start. It's actually a good way to kind of get a feel from your class and just experiment with what certain buttons do. However, later down the line, definitely start working on some, more organized combos and committing them to muscle memory to get the most out of your combat experience. Also, this skill pane is going to be where those skill points are spent. I mentioned skill point XP a little bit earlier at the top left of your screen next to your character experience. Those skill points are spent here and are what are actually used to rank up and level up your skills. Bdo also does have autopathing, so if you want to get from place to place without actually doing it yourself, you can just have the game automatically do it. You can do this by opening up your map, right-clicking anywhere on the map, and then exiting your map and then clicking T to autopath. I know the map can look really confusing at first, but again, refer to my nodes, worker, and housing guide as it explains what a lot of this stuff means. If you're also looking for very specific NPCs, you can do that using the Find NPC button. So click the hourglass icon at the top right, and then you can click certain icons to locate the nearest NPC that serves that function, or type in the name of a character and click search. Just keep in mind that you need to have talked to a character once to search it by name. So if you haven't spoken to a character, you either need to, look it up on Google to see where it is, or just use those quick action icons to find your nearest specific NPC of what you're trying to find, whether it's a blacksmith or something else. Now, as far as gearing in BDO goes, you'll want to be gearing primarily through the main quest line, acquiring gear known as Naru gear, which you can then upgrade to make better. To upgrade this gear, you're going to want to click the Black Spirit, click Enhance, and you can use Beginner Blackstones to upgrade the gear by placing it into the window here. Seasoned characters, when they upgrade their Naru gear high enough, will also get access to Tuvala gear, which is even stronger. If you want to know the best way to upgrade both Naru and Tuvala gear and how the early gear progression goes, I do have a separate guide for it, which you can also find in the description below. But a really quick, like I said, this is a very quick and dirty version, so you just get the gear through the main quest, enhance it with Beginner Blackstones, and the way that gear rankings work is it goes 1 through 15, and then you have Roman numeral 1 through 5. So Roman numeral 1 is Pry, 2 is Duo, 3 is Tri, 4 is known as Tet, and 5 is known as Pen, with obviously Pen being the highest of what you can get in the game. When you get started in BDO, you will definitely be overwhelmed by the number of items this game gives to you. It is a Korean MMO after all, and so item and currency bloat is super real. If you're not sure what to do with something, the safest option for now is to just bank it. You can do this by talking to a storage keeper in any town and storing your goods there. You can expand your bank by using contribution points on the houses in the town that give you storage, thus increasing your bank size. You can also move things from town to town using the transport button down below, setting what items you want to move and then the destination town. After a certain time, those items will be moved. At the time of recording this video, to store items in certain towns, you need to be physically at that town to deposit the items and withdraw them there. So storage is going to be local. But with the newest patch that's coming out, you will be able to store and withdraw items from anywhere once you complete the new Magnus quest line, which is a much needed quality of life feature for the game. Another important tab that the storage keeper has is the currency exchange tab. You can sell any gold bars you get from questing to him, which in return gives you silver, the main currency in BDO. You can also expand your personal inventory with certain items, and you will have plenty of these from the main quest. I also do plan on making a guide on which items you really need to worry about and save and stuff in the future, so definitely keep an eye on that. But for now, I just recommend banking stuff if you're not sure if you need it or not. You also have the central market warehouse. This is essentially like a staging area for items that you can sell to other players. This can also be used as a type of storage to simply store sellable items. So to do that, again, talk to the storage keeper, click storage, and then click warehouse, and you can store items there. If you decide you want to sell them, you can do so in the marketplace by hitting escape, marketplace, sell, and choosing what you want to sell and then listing it for a price. You can also click the buy tab if there's anything that you want to buy. Prices are regulated a bit by PA to prevent prices on certain items from getting astronomically high or low. Now, in terms of a mount, you'll get one pretty quickly during the main quest line, so just simply follow that and you'll get access to a horse. The horse system in this game is pretty deep, and I do have a guide on it on my channel if you do want to learn more. So the next question you may have at this point is, all right, got a good handle on all that, so what do I even do now? Well, like I said earlier, BDO is an open world sandbox MMORPG, so the choice is yours. The general gameplay loop as a new player is to simply do the main questline as you level. Typically, you want to level through the city known as Alta Nova, and when you get a quest that says like heading to Valencia or the Eastern Sands, I forget the exact name of it, but once you get that questline, you'll know you've finished the Alta Nova questline. Now, if you want to keep questing, you could also do the questline you just got, which is known as the Valencia questline, or you can stop after Alta Nova. I don't even think I've done the Valencia questline yet. But after you finish Alta Nova, you can talk to the Black Spirit, or I think it's once you hit level 56, and do your Awakening questline if you do want to play the Awakening specialization. Or if you want to empower your base kit, you do have to do the Awakening questline, followed immediately by your Succession questline, allowing you to enhance your main weapon abilities. Now, once you have that, your goal is going to be simply to grind to level 61, as this is what's known as the level soft cap, and where most people in BDO want to be level-wise. A good area that I recommend grinding in is Polly's Forest and Kama Sylvia, as it's a pretty easy area to grind it and gives amazing experience and actually a really solid amount of silver. Past that, past like level 61, level means very little, and most of your power is going to come from your equipment. Once you're level 61, you've unlocked your Awakening and Succession lines, and you've quested at least through Alta Nova. The world is your oyster at this point. You'll want to mainly do a money-making activity of some sorts to increase your silver, which will allow you to increase your gear score. You can grind mobs for money, start working on professions known as life skills, start farming certain treasures like the infinite potions, working on your logbooks, which are kind of like adventure activities that give you small stat increases, and so much more. BDO is a very deep and complex game with a lot of systems. So if you want to explore more, again, check the guides on my channel. And if you want a more in-depth look at what to do after 61, be sure to sub to my channel, as I do have a guide on that coming up very soon. And if I could leave you with one piece of advice, especially for newer players, is do not try to tackle everything in this game at once. There is a lot of systems in the game. There's crazy depth. And if you try to tackle everything immediately, you are going to get very confused. Two other systems that I do recommend taking a look at, which I think are a little outside the scope of this video, but I'm going to recommend taking a look at them, is the pets guide that I have on my YouTube channel, as well as the fairy guide that I have on my YouTube channel. Pets are kind of your form of auto loot in this game, and you will get a bunch of free pets as you go through the main quest line, so definitely you're going to want to have those and summon them. They're not just cosmetic in BDO, they actually do loot items for you, so having good pets is very important. And the fairy in this game kind of just gives you some small quality of life buffs, with one in particular being really good. It's like a perk that essentially like uses potions for you. Very important to get when you start getting towards end game activities. But again, I do have guides for those linked in the description below, so I wouldn't crazy worry about them right now, but in time it is going to be something you want to check out. So I do have guides basically ready for you whenever you're good to look into those. So with that being said, guys, that's all I got for today. If you guys have any questions about your starting adventures in BDO, please leave them below and I will do what I can to help out. If you like this video, please leave a like on it. It really does help me out in the YouTube algorithm. So appreciate y'all stopping by. Thank you very much. Do sub if you want to see more BDO content and guides. Like I said, appreciate y'all stopping by. As always, I'm Dottz Gaming, and I'll see you all in the next video.